tired of feeling I'm high on believing.
Hello again, poker players. This is Steve Brady, and I have a tournament hand for you today. This time it's a $100 WSOP.com event with 10,000 starting chips and 8-minute levels. The key question in this hand is how much should we value bet on the river with the nuts? Let's get started. We are just past the late entry period, but not close to the bubble. So ICM has only a small impact on our decisions today. The tournament bell curve is more important here, so we should generally be a bit looser and a bit more aggressive than our baseline strategy. So it folds around to us in the small blind with Jack 9 suited, and we have a 38 big blind stack. What should we do here? The CPI of our Jack 9 suited is 40 points. That's 22 points for the Jack, 9 points for the 9, 8 points because it's suited, and another 6 points because it's a one-gapper. This is summarized in this panel. Our position index is 28 points from the small blind, so our hand is plenty strong enough to open here. I would normally open to about 3 big blinds since we will be out of position to the big blind after the flop. So let's look at what the GTO Wizard solver says about this situation. First, we set this the solver up with 35 big blind stacks. Then we fold around to the small blind, and it's on us. We can see that the solver says that we should be playing about 81.5% of all hands. We can see that we're only folding these white squares down in here, these white combos down here. And we're raising about 30% of the time, and we're calling about 51% of the time. So we should be playing this hand the vast majority of times. And in fact, with the Jack 9 suited we actually have, we should be playing, we should be limping 61% of the time, and we should be raising 39% of the time, as you can see right here, 61, 39. So assuming we do raise, the big blind should be playing about 65.8% of hands and folding 34% of the hands. That includes raising about 8.7, jamming about 2.9%, and calling about 54%. So we're going to get a call or better almost all the time. So I opened to 3,300 chips, and the big blind calls. The flop is 8, 10, 3, rainbow, and the action is on us. What should we do here? I have flopped an open-ender, which isn't too bad. Normally, I will always continuation bet when heads up, especially when I'm out of position. The math is in my favor since a half-pot bet only needs a fold 1/3 of the time to be profitable. I see no reason to deviate from that this time. GTO Wizard has this as a mixed strategy with checking 35% of the time and betting 65% of the time. We can see, however, that the EVs for all of these actions is nearly the same. In a real game, we should make an exploited decision, but we probably can't make a big error whatever we decide to do. I bet 3,500. The villain calls, and the flop is a 7 of diamonds. What should I do now? I don't favor slow playing here. In a tournament, it's much better to take the more aggressive line because it widens our bell curve. So I think I should be betting. Betting half pot now sets me up for a pot size jam on the river. So I think betting one half to 2/3 pot is best. But GTO Wizard has me checking 82% of the time. Yet the EVs are nearly the same whether we check or bet up to half pot or so. So we can't really make a big mistake against with any of these actions against a GTO strong villain. But I still think it's better to bet in a real game. So I bet 6,000 chips, which is just short of a half pot bet. The villain calls again, and the river is the queen of hearts. What should we do now? This is a good card for me since I still have the nuts. So I can certainly bet for value. The question becomes, how much should I bet? If I bet small, I can get called by several one-pair hands, such as tens and maybe even eights. But if I bet too big, these hands likely fold, and only sets and maybe two-pair hands would call me. Though a large bet might widen my bell curve, I think I should bet smaller in order to keep some of these weaker hands in the game. GTO Wizard agrees that I should bet 100% of the time, but it prefers a jam to a 1/3 bet by about 1/10 of a big blind, which is about a 0.2% error. In a real game, it becomes an exploitive decision. So I bet 10,000 chips, the big blind calls, and shows two pair. The villain was unlucky to hit two pair on the river, and my straight was somewhat hidden. In fact, GTO Wizard prefers him to jam in this situation. Jamming has a 4.7 big blind EV advantage over calling, which is a pretty big error. There are several important lessons that we can learn from today's hand. First, when we have a neutral decision in a tournament, we should often take the looser and more aggressive line. This helps widen our tournament bell curve, which helps our profitability. Second, in blind versus blind battles, GTO solvers have the small blind playing nearly every combo. Against a real tournament opponent, we can often play any two cards. And finally, we must size our river value bet based on the range of our opponent's worst hands that can call. Bet smaller when the villain has shown no evidence of a big hand. I hope you enjoyed the hand. That's all, folks.